The following program is intended for informational purposes only and not as a standalone tool. Please refer to the Flexco website and other Flexco and Rockline literature for more detailed instructions. Prior to any work on your conveyors, make sure that the power has been turned off and that the belt is locked out. Follow other safety precautions as outlined in the operator's manual. And be sure to put on all recommended safety gear before beginning any belt maintenance procedure. Gather your tools and the material shipped to you with your Easy P1 pre-cleaner. You will need a tape measure, a 2 or 4 foot level, a marker, a torch welder, an adjustable wrench, a 3/4 inch wrench, and a grinder. Keep in mind that for open head installations, you will first need to add mounting support to the structure. Mounting plate and operational mounting bar kits are available from Flexco. Contact your sales representative or call our customer service hotline for more information. The first step in installing the Easy P1 is determining the correct pole position. To do this, you will want to determine the diameter of the pulley plus the lagging and belt. This is dimension A. To calculate dimension A, first measure the pulley shaft. Here, we are marking a level line on the top and bottom of the shaft to find the thickness of the shaft. Next, measure from the outer edge of the shaft to the top of the belt. Use this formula to calculate dimension A. The diameter of the pulley shaft divided by 2, plus the length of the shaft to the belt. Multiply the result by 2. Now, find dimension A on the pole location chart included in your Easy P1 packaging. This chart will allow you to determine the other dimensions you will need, dimensions X, Y, and C. The next task is to locate the center of the pulley shaft. The simplest way to do this is to line your ruler up with the outer edge of the shaft. Now, draw a long line down. Do the same thing on the opposite side. Now that you know the shaft diameter, measure back half the distance of the shaft to find the center line. Now it's on to dimension Y. Begin by subtracting half the diameter of the pulley shaft from the number 9. The result is the distance you will measure down from the bottom of the pulley shaft. Mark this point. Starting from this point, measure horizontally the distance that your pole location chart indicates as dimension X. You're almost done. All that's left to do is draw a long vertical line perpendicular to the end point of dimension X. Now you have your guidelines for the mounting plate. Next, you'll want to mark and cut the mounting plate holes. Positioning the keyway toward the pulley, align the hole notches with the intersecting lines you just drew. Trace the pole cutout and mounting holes. Now you'll need your torch. Use it to cut out all the holes you traced. Then grind the edges for safety. Finish this step by priming or painting the cutouts. Your next task is to install the mounting plates. Center the first plate over the holes and use the bolts provided to attach it to the conveyor belt structure. Once finished, repeat steps 1 through 3 on the opposite side of the conveyor belt. Now you're ready to install the pole. First, remove both blade pins and the blade. You may need to cut the pole down to allow for any obstructions from the structure. Then slide the pole through the mounting plates. Finish by reattaching the cleaner blade to the pole. Before you lock everything into place, you will need to center the blade on the belt. Once it is centered, slide the pole lock collar onto the pole opposite the side on which you intend to mount the tensioner. Snug it up to the mounting plate. Now it's time to square up the blade. Rotate it toward the belt and until it is square to the pulley face. If it does not align properly, loosen a mounting plate on one side and adjust the plate forward or backward to square the blade. Retighten the bolts when you are finished. Keep in mind that the tensioner is designed for left side installation. If you'd prefer to have your tensioner on the right, some minor reassembly is required. For instructions, see the EST tensioner card that came with your parts. The next step is the installation of the tensioner. The tensioner can be installed in one of 4 positions around the pole. To determine which is best for your conveyor, hold the entire assembly up to the pole with the spring and blade facing the same direction. Rotate the assembly 90 degrees until you find a suitable position. Now slide the tensioner onto the pole and rotate it into a position that will make it easy to access in the future. Next, remove the 2 outer mounting plate bolts. Now you'll want to locate the torque arm and the pivot rod. Fit these 2 pieces together and slide the entire assembly onto the pole. Next, you'll need the pivot shaft bracket. Using the long bolts provided, attach the bracket to the mounting plate and tighten. At this point, you'll want to set the blade tension to ensure optimum cleaning. To do this, simply slide the tensioner spring with the bushings onto the pivot rod. Then, slide on the large washer and the 2 tension nuts. Thread the nuts on the rod until 1 inch is exposed at the end. If the blade has lost contact with the pulley, rotate the pole until the blade is once again squared. Now, pull the torque arm up to the spring and tighten the arm around the pole. To set the spring tension, compress the spring to the appropriate length according to the blade tension chart by tightening the jam nuts. To ensure that future adjustments are made correctly, attach the label near the tensioner. Do not forget to add serial number and brand labels near the tensioner. You're almost done. All that's left is checking to ensure that the pole location is correct. To do this, use the pole location gauge that came in your instruction packet. Slide it in between the cleaner pole and the pulley until it stops at a step. The measurement on the gauge should be identical to dimension A, which you used in step 1. Before you send any material over the belt, be sure to test run the cleaner and inspect its performance. If any vibration occurs or more cleaning efficiency is desired, adjust the tension of your blade. For more information on Easy P1 Pre-Cleaner installation, go to www.flexco.com or contact your authorized Flexco distributor.